Welcome to Caveman Corner with your host, Jeff, Captain Caveman. Thanks.
I like your new music, Ray.
Oh, thank you.
It's a little out there for us. It's not like what Lord Williams gonna get together, I hope, for us. Hope that's a little bit better than that mess.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of a hot mess. How you feeling?
I'm feeling not too great.
Yeah, you sound a little sick. I'm surprised you made it out.
Yeah, I was going to cancel this. Well, I wasn't going to cancel it, but I wasn't going to be in here. How could I let you do it by yourself?
I did enough by myself. I got Pat Mix by myself. I did Mr. Jiu-Jitsu. This is episode 99. We got Hackleman. We got some good guests.
Hackleman, yeah, John Hackleman, man. Chuck Liddell coach.
Yep. We're going to get into that in a minute. Let's go over to UFC real quick. Did you see it?
No, I didn't.
Of course you didn't, dude. You host you're the producer and co-host of a MMA podcast, and you don't see any of these.
I've been cheap lately. I don't want to pay the $50.
All right. So Uriah Faber fought Peter Yan. Didn't go so good for Uriah. I thought the fight was stopped a little bit early. Peter Yan won TKO.
Okay.
Uriah looked all right. He looked a little bit old. He was a little bit scared to engage. Jose Aldo fought Marlon Morales at
135?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. He looked like a crackhead.
Yeah, he looked great in the fight, though. It was probably the best I've seen him fight, actually, in a long time.
A lot of people felt he won that fight. I didn't see it. So.
I don't think he won the fight, but I thought he was really close, and he looked really, really good. Marlon was just tagging him up a little bit too much for him, I thought. Then Amanda Nunes had a really big scare against Jermaine D. Randamay. Dude, but she looks like a giant, like a Sasquatch kind of looking chick. She's so tall. Nunes dominated pretty much for 5 rounds, but sometime I think in the third she got stuck in a triangle and it was tight there for a minute. And Jermaine lumped her up a little bit a couple times on the feet.
Now Nunes, has she been really tested with the groundwork?
She was much better than Jermaine. So
okay,
yeah, she was tested in this fight and she was dominant in this fight. So like,
I never saw her ground game really. I just had her stand up and knocking people out.
Yeah, she's a pretty legitimate Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. She looked great on the ground. She smoked her. She got caught a little bit taking it easy. She got caught in a triangle. And she got out and she smashed her some more. It was a good fight, good test. Hopefully she put some more naked pictures up with her belts all over her. She came out with her girlfriend. Usually when you come out with your girlfriend, you lose, but she's putting an end to that stereotype.
Yeah.
Max Holloway fought Alexander Volkanovski. And sorry, I have a hard time with these Russian names. He's not even Russian, by the way. I thought he was Russian, so I bet everything I had on him. He won, beat Holloway. It was a decision. It was pretty close, but he definitely won.
Okay.
It was a great fight. Holloway's been a great champion, but too many leg kicks. He got eaten up. His legs got chewed up.
Oh, wow. Gotta check the kicks.
Yep. Gotta check the kicks. And the main event, Usman and Covington. Usman broke his jaw in the 3rd round and stopped him in the 5th round, although I think it was a little bit early of a stop. Covington complained about the stop. I kind of agree with him. There was a groin shot that they stopped a little bit early, too. I don't think it really landed on the groin. The eye poke, he definitely poked him in the eye, so I don't know.
This guy is like a professional wrestler.
Covington?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is kind of like a professional wrestler. But, dude, he fought through 2 hard rounds with Usman with a broken jaw. He proved his mettle, dude. He's
no doubt he's tough. You know, a lot of people hate him. Everybody wants him to lose. I've seen that all on Facebook. But
yeah. A lot of people are happy to get his jaw broke.
Listen, the guy is a true fighter, and he promoted himself. He promoted his fights. He gonna get people angry. That's the way. Some people got that style. They get people angry when they promote their fights.
Yeah, he was about to be cut from UFC. Started talking a bunch of shit. Now he's fighting for the title.
Yep.
That's what it takes sometimes to get ahead. As horrible as that sounds.
So when you come back to fight Caveman, you gonna have a Make America Great hat on?
I don't need to talk no shit, dude. I'm too old. I'm just gonna come back and beat somebody up one more time.
You'll come in with your Caveman.
Yeah, and then this will be 25 years of fight. If I fight in 2020, it'll be 25 years of fighting.
Let's get you an easy fight. Let's get you Mickey Gaskin.
I'll fight Mickey. I'll fight Gearhart. Give me Gearhart or one of those other crazy fucks that suck real bad.
Morrison, please.
Yeah, I couldn't think of his name. Morrison. Give me Morrison.
Yeah, beat him up for me because he's talking crap to me.
Or Alex Carroll. I'll take out Alex Carroll at heavyweight.
Alex Carroll make his pro debut.
Yeah. I'll fuck him up. Fuck him up a heavyweight.
Oh man.
And I'll weigh like 160.
You go get my diet, Burger King diet.
I'm gonna be on a
I'll
healthy
get you
diet.
back in. I get you heavy cake.
Yeah, I'm sure you can help that. Mr. Jiu-Jitsu had a little bit to say about you. So if you haven't listened to Mr. Jiu-Jitsu podcast, listen to it. It's a really good one, and then we make fun of Ray at the end.
Yeah, Mr. Jiu-Jitsu. That's like all his videos I see on Facebook and social media. It's like he's talking about me.
All right. Well, let's give our guest a call and see what we got going on. Hopefully he's ready for us. All right. We got John Hackleman. Yeah, we got John Hackleman on Caveman's Corner. Welcome. Thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
A lot of news lately. UFC just happened. Chuck Liddell just fought a little while ago. Before we get into too much stuff, I got to ask about that. Why weren't you guys together for that fight, man?
We weren't seeing eye to eye on some things going into that fight, like mainly going into that fight. It just wasn't something I really wanted to happen. So, I don't know. I mean, I told him, I think me being against it, and then I told him, if you really need me there, I'll be there, but I don't agree with it at all. I don't think it's a good move at all. And with that attitude, I wouldn't want me in my corner either, being that, I was that against it. And I didn't really see eye to eye on it. And I think his wife was trying to act as his manager, so I didn't really like dealing with anybody. I've never I dealt with every one of his other fights, and I've always been the guy,
Right.
But I'm not going to be, I'm not going to go in and go in that capacity. So we just didn't see eye to eye on a few things, and I didn't, I thought the fight was completely unnecessary. That's why.
What did you think about his performance? Do you think he had some kind of back injury? It looked like his thoracic spine was so locked up, like he couldn't even move, even just hitting pads and coming out to the cage.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. He looked. I heard he did some kind of crazy stuff, and I don't know. His like I said, his wife was kind of in charge of everything, and I didn't really get that involved. I said I'll be here for you if you need me. I offered to go down there if he needed anything, but like I said, with me being this against it, I think he realized that I probably wouldn't be the best one to be working with him for this fight. Even though I would have been in the long, now that hindsight's 20/20, but whatever.
Right.
I wish him the best.
Yeah, for me being a Chuck Liddell fan, that was hard to watch, that fight. It was it was very hard.
So me being his his number one trainer for 20-some years, you can imagine how it was for me.
Right, for sure. And I was going to say that the saddest part about that fight for me, I didn't think he should come back and fight Tito. And I mean, he's smoked Tito a couple of times. He doesn't need to really come back and lose now that he's not at his best. But the saddest part for me is that you weren't there with him. And I've been through the fight game for a long time. And sometimes when you see that happen, it's the saddest thing that can ever happen,
Yeah, I didn't like it. Tito mentioned it. Tito mentioned it. He said, John should have been in his corner. Tito said he thought he would have done better if I was in his corner.
I don't doubt it, man. You're a very good coach. Let's go back to some happier times, man. How did you guys get together? How did you guys come together, and how did the pit get going, really?
Well, they're two separate things. What, you want to talk the pit or Chuck?
Like how you guys got together.
How I met Chuck?
Yeah, how you met Chuck and how you guys started training together and how that formed into like the manager that you became and the trainer.
What? What are you doing in here? I don't remember the year, like 2000. Why don't you just take the whole thing out? Like 2002. No, not 2002. 92. Sorry.
All right, that
Like
sounds better.
92 or 90. Yeah, like 92 or 93. Um, some guy that was working with him didn't like my. I just moved into town, and he was going to Cal Poly, and I started training people on my backyard, which I was doing in LA too, and it got kind of popular pretty quick because we were, training, and it was kind of a rough. He kind of had a rough rough reputation, and Chuck's buddy didn't like it because I guess he had a little school in San Luis, so he set up a fight between me and Chuck, because Chuck was his number one guy. So he thought Chuck would, I don't know, I guess, like put me in my place or whatever. So I said, okay, let's do it. So we planned it, and me and Chuck went at it, and right after that was done, Chuck asked me to start training him, and I did, and so I was training him ever since. He showed up in my backyard gym the next day, and we started training together, and we trained together ever since till the last real fight of his career.
So you got the best of him, huh?
Yeah. But I mean, to be honest, it's just because, I had been doing that kind of fighting longer, and he was a wrestler at Cal Poly, and he did some traditional karate, but he wasn't used to like real fighting. I mean, real, like at that level. But he picked it up pretty quick.
What kind of ground training did you have at the time?
Just basic Kaja Kempo stuff, which wasn't much. So it was like basic. We started doing some basic takedown defense early, just because when I opened the pit in '85, which I opened it in LA, I realized real fast that if guys came in off the street, because they heard you did like freestyle sparring, a lot of guys, as soon as they got hit, they just wanted to go, whether they were a wrestler, a football player, or anything, they just wanted to get off their feet and go to the ground.
So you kind of developed your own. You kind of developed your own style then, man. So that's even better. Like in true combat, just like the Gracies did.
Yeah. So we had to go over that real quick because I realized that I wasn't really as effective when I was on my back. So I worked a lot on that, and then over the years, since I got kind of well known for punching power and other things like that, a lot of grappling guys would come to me, and I, instead of charging them, I was just like, I'll trade you, bro. You teach me some, this takedown defense or this ground escape or this submission defense. Almost everything I wanted to learn was how to either avoid getting taken down or get back up after I hit the ground on my back. So, I would work with guys like Cesar Gracie, even Dan Henderson, Matt Lindland, Sammy Henson, some of the best jiu-jitsu and wrestling guys in the world, and I would ask them like, all right, all I want to learn is this, and I'll teach you how to throw a better left hook,
Right.
So that's kind of how we got proficient at takedown defense and escaping and getting back on our feet.
Would you say that the Chuck Liddell style, when he was in his prime, knocking people out in UFC, sprawling, brawling, is your ideal, what fighting should be in MMA?
I think, yeah. I think it's, I think for the street, it's the most effective without a doubt. You have to learn takedown defense, and you have to learn escapes from the bottom, or you're striking. You're not really a martial artist. You're a partial artist.
Right.
So you're just kind of half a martial artist. Or on the other side of that, if you just learn jiu-jitsu and you don't learn striking and takedowns and you're a partial artist. And if you're a wrestler and you don't learn submission defense and striking, you're a part. You have to learn them all. And and we've learned over the years, thanks to mainly the Gracies, to tell you the truth, that all three of those aspects are equally as important, and anyone that thinks they're not gets beaten really easily. They can make it on the lower, if they're really, really, really good at one thing, they might be able to kind of make it a little bit, but at the top, nobody can make it at the top level without being a very proficient striker, wrestler, and jiu-jitsu practitioner.
I like that. When you sit back and reflect on what happened, do you realize how much of an impact that you and Chuck had on the mixed martial arts trajectory? The way that fighting was gone has become like Chuck Liddell style, sprawling, keeping on the feet, heavy power shots, knockouts. The MMA landscape totally changed when you guys came on the scene and Chuck really started making waves.
I don't really think about it like that much, but I definitely realized it when we were. It went from sleeping on my couch to taking a private plane to Japan. So I realized that something was changing. but yeah, and that's I'm just a martial arts guy, mainly for the street and the whole UFC thing. Is just a byproduct, and it's a hobby of mine. But so everything I do, even MMA stuff, is directed towards learning more from my students that want to protect themselves in the street.
How much is the fame and the money that Chuck made had an impact on your life? Did you make a decent amount of money? Are you set now? What are you doing now?
It definitely it didn't really change, like, because I'm a registered nurse. I was making pretty good money. I had a couple houses and I was living pretty good. I could pretty much do what I want. But the fame kind of hit me. It actually kind of hurt my business, because just because it got really popular, and people would recognize us, and recognize me, and recognize my gym. So not as many people want to train there, because most of the people that train in my gym are family guys and kids and people that just want to work out and learn self-defense. And then all of a sudden I got blown up knowing, UFC this, and blood and guts and cages and tap out and so it kind of turned a lot of people families off to my gym, because they didn't want their kids to be cage fighters, and adults that wanted to learn regular martial arts, they didn't want to come in because they would thought that all the guys at my gym were like Chuck Liddell and they would get their ass whooped. So they would go to the gym down the street or the other karate schools in town because they were softer. So it kind of hurt my reputation as a martial arts instructor, but then it helped my reputation as a fight trainer. And then the more educated people in martial arts realized that we were more about, we're a martial arts school, and I just happened to be an MMA UFC trainer on the side. So it kind of gave me some, but then it took some away. So I don't know. It was what it was. I can't change it. And Chuck was nothing but a brother to me, and he's a family member. So I wouldn't have changed a thing.
Did you get a lot of requests to have you be someone's training coach, or from a lot of the other UFC guys? And how did you feel about that? And did that cause any problems between you and Chuck?
I didn't cause problems. I didn't have the setup for it or the desire for it. So I would say no, and a lot of those guys come back. I have one guy that actually won some title in the UFC, and he came back to me, and I was talking to him at a fight. I don't want to mention him, but he was like he was dogging me because he asked me to train him, and I was like, bro, I don't have the room, I don't want to take on a bunch of fighters, so I didn't train him, and he ended up winning a world title, and he was like dogging me about it, but I just, it was all about Chuck, and then I got some other fighters that I fell in love with, like Glover and Court McGee and Ramsey Nijum and Tim Kennedy, and they became like family to me. So I would train those guys because I loved them. I didn't want to take like new guys. I met Court and Ramsey at the Ultimate Fighter. I met Glover because he fought one of my guys. So they all had, I met them, and then we became friends, and Glover was Chuck's training partner. So, I mean, I just wasn't into a big school. I didn't want to be like American Top Team or AKA or Jackson's. I wanted to be a martial arts school, and that's a family martial arts school. And that's where I still am, and I still have some fighters. I still work with Glover. I work with Court, Ramsey, and I have a couple of fighters that I'm bringing up because they've been with me since they're like 4 or 5 years old, and now they want to fight. So I can't, say no to them. But after they're done, I'm not going to ever take on any more fighters.
I like that, man. That says a lot about your personality and your loyalty to your teammates.
Oh yeah, it's a family. The gym's a family gym. And all my fighters are belts under me. They're in my system. Even Court McGee, Glover, Ramsey, they're all black belts under me, and I run my fight practices like a class, just like my my martial arts class. It's not like we're not 40,000 square feet with 100 fighters, whatever. We don't have like infighting, like this guy hates this guy and this guy backstabs this guy. It's nothing like that. The Pit is a family gym. Always has been, always will be. We put family first, and that's the way it is. And that's one reason we're a close-knit group. We had like a 95% win rate, and we do pretty good, but we try to keep it family.
I like the sound of that. I've heard a lot that the pit training was really, really intense. And does that family atmosphere help everyone get through it? How intense were your workouts really there at the pit?
We're pretty intense. Even Joe Rogan talks about how intense they are and how in shape all my guys are always in shape. Even my regular students. That have never want to fight in a cage. They just want to train to get their next belts. I put them through a lot, and my black belt tests are known all over the world. And my guys, martial arts is equal parts of striking, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and physical conditioning. And without any 4 of those, like I said, you're a partial art. It's not a martial art. And if a street fight, even more than a cage fight, a street fight, even more than a cage fight, takes extreme conditioning. And I realize that, but a lot of schools don't. A lot of martial arts schools don't stress conditioning, and then they teach techniques, and then their guy gets jumped in the street, and they're going to run out of gas in 30 seconds, and then they're going to lose the fight because they're out of shape, and they're going to look like a fool in front of their wife, and the wife's going to fuck their neighbor.
Caveman looked at me and he said, "That's me. I'm out of shape."
I was pointing right at Ray when you were saying that 30 seconds are going to gas out.
30 seconds, man. That's why we push anaerobic, extreme, intense training from our regular students. I'm talking like I got orthopedic surgeons, pediatricians, cops, lawyers, nurses, doctors. They have to train just like my fight team, all except for the double training. My fight team usually trains twice a day, but my regular classes are run just like my fight team and vice versa.
Wow, I like the sound of that. And Ray sounds like he could use some of that, by the way. He's,
Listen, I bought the DVD. I bought the Pit workout
Who's it?
DVD.
Who's in bad shape?
Ray is.
I
Ray
am.
is.
Ray, let me just tell you, are you married, Ray?
No.
You might as well be married.
Okay. Do you have a girlfriend?
Yes.
Well, let me just say something. If you're out to dinner with her and some guy threatens you and jumps you and you run out of gas in that fight and you get the shit kicked out of you in front of your beautiful girlfriend, she will fuck your neighbor. Don't you know that? That's one reason alpha males have to stay in shape.
Okay, listen, I bought your DVD. I'm going to get in shape.
All right.
I actually illegally burned your DVD, but I have it as well.
I know. I have guys that say, I don't know where you're buying them because a lot of guys bought them and told me about it. I made them with this guy, and he was kind of not the most ethical guy in the world. This guy's selling my DVD all over. I don't get a penny for that. Any of them.
Oh, I'm glad I burned it then.
I bought it from Amazon.
It wasn't from me, but I mean, it doesn't.
People
are getting in shape.
Do you sell them? Is there
No.
a way for people to buy them off of you?
No, I don't sell them. I didn't have them.
Damn.
To be honest, we made a bunch, and I probably have like 20 at the gym, but I don't sell them. Somebody else does. I don't give a shit, to tell you the truth. I'm good. I'm good. If people are buying them and they're getting in shape, that's worth it to me. I don't really give a shit. I mean, I'm good. I'm blessed in my life right now. I thank God every day I wake up because of the way I'm comfortable, you know, and I'm healthy, and my life is like the dream come true. Little shit like that, it doesn't ever bother me.
Well, since you're not making any money off the DVD, I have a lot of training questions then. You guys never get tired. What do you put your guys through that they don't get tired? You said anaerobic and aerobic conditioning, but what exactly are you having these guys do that they're in such good shape?
Yeah, that's like, there's so much shit that I get creative with my workouts. Someday I just get a mood and everything changes. Nothing's planned out because a lot of places plan out workouts, arm day, leg day, this day, that day. In a fight, you don't plan anything out. So I try to plan everything around no plans. Because during a fight, is so much chaos, nothing's planned, and you can't have any plans because they always change. So I just come up with shit every day. You know, every day I go to the gym, it's something new. It's just whatever's making them. You can make people like, I gotta say, go on the bag and just punch the bag as hard as you can 10 times, and then do 10 burpees, and then you got to do it in this amount of time. And next thing you know, after like the second set, people are starting to get really tired. When you combine burpees with anything, they get exhausted. When you mix like wall ball with a medicine ball and anything else, they're going to get exhausted. Anytime they go on the ground and get back up and do stuff on the ground and then standing again, if you make them do it over and over and over again at a fast pace, they're going to get exhausted. You make them drop to the ground, get up, do this, escape the mount. I just come up with shit every day, and I just yell at them. That's it.
That's amazing.
That's it. And I remind them that if they don't do what I tell them, and if they don't push it really, really, really hard, and if they don't get in great shape, and if they get tired, the girlfriend won't give them a blowjob when they get home.
That's pretty good motivation.
Oh, let me tell you, man. They train so much harder when I tell them that. It's just all of a sudden they're like fucking going 1,000 miles an hour. Anyway, that's R-rated.
No, that's all right. Our podcast is R-rated all the time. We got Ray here.
Yeah.
He's so fat he makes it R-rated. Sorry, Ray.
Oh, damn.
Whoa. Whoa.
He's so fat he's getting
Wait,
boobs.
we gotta get Ray. But let me just tell you something. It's looks mean nothing. Look at Roy Nelson. Roy Nelson was one of the most hardcore conditioned guys in the UFC. I don't care. I've seen guys with six-pack. Look at Francis Ngannou gassed out after the second round. Roy Nelson could go 5 rounds nonstop, and his gut hung over his shorts. So Ray, there is hope for you.
Ray used to be a svelte 205er. Right now he's walking about 265. He'd probably throw 10 leg kicks and he'd be exhausted. You gotta start coming to the gym again, man. Even Hackleman's getting on you. Mr. Jiu-Jitsu's getting on you. You gotta train, man.
Where are you? Where are you guys located?
We're in Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo, New York.
Yeah, Buffalo, New York.
Shit.
Yeah, that's why Ray's fat, because it's winter right now. He doesn't want to go outside. It's like minus 10 degrees out.
There's nothing wrong with that, man. Yeah, don't worry about it, man.
Ray only works out in the summertime. Ray only works out when it's nice out.
No, but I'm gonna start getting back in shape. I'm gonna start working out again.
All right.
So back to your condition.
Why would you get out of shape in the first place?
Had a son, and then I had
You had the son? Oh my God! That doesn't even work when it's the female having the kid out of her vagina.
No, but listen, I had to make money. I was working 2 jobs, and it was just hard. And then I started eating like a pig.
That's the reason right there. All that other shit was just shit, but that was the reason. You started eating too much. That's the only way people. Nobody works too many hours to not train. I will give $10,000 to anyone that can give me their schedule that honestly doesn't have enough time to get into shape. I'll guarantee you do. It's one thing. It's just your priority.
And your diet, Ray. You're not in bad shape, but you eat terrible.
What about your maybe soon to be wife? Doesn't she like look at you and just say, "Bro, what the fuck you doing here, bro? Get the fucking shape." She's probably in good shape, right?
Yeah, she's in better shape than me.
He's got to say that.
I bet you.
I said he's got to say that.
She work out more than me. She
does work out more than you.
Yeah.
You work out harder, though.
Yeah.
I put Ray on the mitts the other day. He wasn't too bad. His cardio's a little lacking, but he's still strong. Still hits hard. Still kicks good. Getting back to training fighters, how hard do you think guys should spar all the time? I mean, you guys are known to be pretty roughneck, but there's a lot of debate now how hard and how often guys should be sparring in the gym. What do you think about that?
It depends on the sparring. To be honest, now, I don't think anyone has to get hit in the head more than I go on percentages. I don't let my guys spar 98% of the time. That's a lot of the time. That's almost all the time. I don't let my guys spar with headshots more than 2.5% to the head.
So maybe like once a week or once every couple weeks, or
no, they spar 3 or 4 times a week, but I don't let them do headshots harder than 2.5%.
Oh, okay. I was misunderstanding what you were saying. I thought you were saying that 98% of the time you're not sparring, but you're saying you're sparring at like 2% damage to the head when you're sparring. Okay.
Yeah, and then they drill more than they spar. I mean, almost everything. For every 5 minutes, 1 minute is freestyle, and the other 4 minutes are drilling specific techniques over and over and over and over again. They're so bored with the shit. It's just like they just hate it, but I don't care. and our win rate, our win percentage has actually come up. So whatever we're doing is working pretty good. So I'm gonna keep doing it this way. We used to beat the shit out of each other, just like, I mean, it was like beat the shit out of each other all the time. And so when I started training this way, I thought we'd take a big, we would see big losses at the fight and we won't be as successful anymore. But to be honest, we're more successful this way than the other way. And there's less injuries and my guys can probably not get as punch drunk. So it's a win-win.
Were you, I don't know how to ask this gently, so I'm just going to come out and say it. Were you partying with Chuck, or did Chuck's partying ever affect the way that you guys got together and trained? Because I heard he is a serious party animal.
Yeah, that's what I heard too, and I'm not. I'm 60 years old. I've never been drunk yet. So I'm the opposite of a party guy. And Chuck, knowing that, and he knows how I feel about partying, so whatever he used to do was very well hidden from me.
Man, so
we never partied together. Not one. Like I said, I've never been drunk. So
he never came in. You never had a hard time with him, like taking a liver shot and going down or something because he's out all night. Nothing.
Nah.
That's awesome.
I've heard stuff, and I've heard like people would say, like I get calls like, "Hey Chuck, we saw Chuck last night. I just want to let you know," and I just I start off talking to him like a grown man about it, and I realize that's I'm not as I don't know, I'm not him. He got to do what he wants to do, and if he wants to do that, he knows how I feel about it, and he knows my take on it, and so he's gonna do what he's gonna do. Nobody can control someone else. I mean, like Jackson, he can't control what Jones does.
Good luck with that.
You just can't. Yeah, you just can't. And even though I was a lot closer with Chuck, just like my own kid, I can't control what they're gonna do when they're adults.
Well, I think that says a lot because these stories must be overblown. If it's not affecting his training when you guys are training, he can't be partying as hard as everyone said he was at the time, because there's no way he could train like that if he's out partying all night.
I don't think that's true. There's some, I mean, you look at like some of these Dutch fighters, these Dutch kickboxers back in the day, they were well known. Like they were fucking world famous. Someone would do like fucking heroin and shit. They were out there killing each other every day. So there are people so fucking tough that, I mean, to me, that's a whole different level of tough, that could party all night and fucking train like a fucking brute the next day. And so I'm not saying he did or didn't, but I'm saying just because he was training hard doesn't mean he did. But I'm definitely not saying he did. I'm just saying that's not proof that he did. Like I said, I've seen these Dutch guys partying like fucking rock stars, all night and training like a fool the next day. So
I like that. You're sounding kind of lawyery too, so we'll move on. I like it. How much weight training did you guys do? Because Chuck never looked like he was like ripped, but he always seemed like he was super, super strong in the cage. How much of that was like strength and conditioning training? How much weights do you guys lift? What goes on with strength training?
Yeah, we do about as much as anyone else. I mean, you look at guys like Glover. I mean, Glover was a lot more cut. Now he's 40 and he's still really in good shape.
Yeah, he's pretty
Court
ripped
McGee.
up.
Yeah, Court McGee is a freak when it comes to training and lifting, and he can deadlift like 700 pounds, and it's crazy. But I don't push weightlifting. We do a lot of dumbbell stuff. Like we have specific workouts with dumbbells and kettlebells. I don't do any barbell stuff. We do a lot of medicine balls, even heavy medicine balls, like 100-pound medicine balls. We do drills. We do wheelbarrows with 300, 400 pounds in it. So we push weights.
Right.
We just don't do like Olympic lifts. Glover does a lot of Olympic lifts, and so does Court McGee on his own. He loves it. But for what I train my guys, and when they're in my camp, there's a lot of wheelbarrow, a lot of heavy medicine balls, and a lot of dumbbells.
Sounds like the guys that like to lift like blowjobs more. Gotta look good for their ladies.
Or in some cases, maybe giving them. I don't even know. No, it's not my. I don't judge. We're a gay friend. No, we're a gay friendly gym. You know, whatever my guys want to do. You know, I don't judge.
That's awesome, man.
And that goes for Ray. That goes for Ray too.
Damn.
You can judge Ray. We're in a very judging zone here. We're kind of like Buffalo's not. We're like still in the '60s, so we judge people here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fat Puerto Ricans. We make fun of them all day.
I'm gonna get back in shape, Caveman. I swear to
I'm
God.
gonna tease you until you get back in shape. That like it's coming from my heart, man. I want to see you get better again.
I will.
Yeah. When you were training for that fight, dude, you looked so good. Sorry, John. I didn't mean to. Go ahead.
Sure.
What were you saying?
No, it's just there's no downside to training.
Yeah, it's great for you. It makes you feel good. Ladies like it.
Yeah, when I train, I feel energized all day. Like if I train in the morning and then I go to work at night, I feel energized.
There's nothing. Yeah, there's nothing. There's no downside to it. Like you can defend your life better. You can defend your wife better. And you look better at the beach. What's the downside to it? You know what I mean?
Nothing like that. You said you're in your 60s. How much?
You guys don't even have a beach.
We have a beach, bro. It's just covered with snow.
We got a lake. We got a lake.
We got a lake. We got Lake Erie.
Lake.
Yeah.
It might be polluted, but
it's like a beach light. It's like fucking. It's like a. It's not a real. Oh my god. It's like. I don't know. I can't even compare it. I was gonna compare it with like softball. It's like the softball of baseball.
Yeah,
You know,
kinda.
like comparing softball to. But anyway, that's all right. No judgment here.
We have a lot of rocks in our
But
beaches,
anyway.
and it gets snow and ice. Our lake freezes, so when you go to the beach in the wintertime, it's ice.
go ice fishing.
Holy shit! What a lifestyle! What a lifestyle! But I would say at least you have better politics in California, but you really don't.
No, we
No, we
don't.
don't. We don't.
We got New York City.
Listen, the only thing we got over here is chicken wings.
Yeah, we do got chicken wings. You can't fuck with our chicken wings.
Yeah.
That's why Ray's fat.
Oh yeah. That's part of the reason I'm fat.
Wait, chicken wings?
Yeah, chicken wings.
You guys-
Buffalo
chicken
wings.
You mean like?
Deep fried chicken wings with sauce on. They're so good.
Buffalo sauce on it.
Yeah. Hot and spicy.
Puerto Ricans eat that?
I guess. Ray eats that.
Puerto Ricans eat that?
In
Yep.
Buffalo, everyone eats it. And
Everybody in Buffalo
I've
eat
never-
it.
white people eat it here.
What's a Puerto Rican food? Like
Oh,
what?
roast pork. They got the roast pork, rice and beans, and
You're a bad Puerto Rican. You
So
can't. You got
every,
like two off
every,
the top of your head.
what was that, John?
That's like like Mexican. That's like Mexicans, Dominicans,
Mhm.
like all Latin people eat rice and beans. Is that like a? That's like. All right. That's different from a Mexican
Hey,
and a Puerto
the Mexicans
Rican.
make the good tacos.
They do make good tacos.
No, but what's the difference if it comes to diet? What would be like? So there's this tacos, burritos, and enchiladas. What would be 3 top Puerto Rican dishes?
Rice and beans for sure. They always eat rice and beans. Fried chicken and roast pork, and fried bananas.
Fried chicken. Fried chicken. You're mixing up your cultures.
Well,
That's a Puerto Rican thing.
they like fried chicken, yeah, but it's a little different from. They don't put that. They don't dip it in a flour or nothing like that, and put
You gotta describe a little bit better than that, Ray.
What?
So how do you fry? What do you fry it in?
We fry about we don't dip the chicken. You know how they dip it
Yeah,
with flour.
so you don't have like a base on
yeah,
it.
no base on it. No.
So you just fry it and
Yep.
you eat it like.
We season it with garlic, pepper. We season it real good and we just fry it.
That sounds a lot better than a shake I'm gonna have for dinner tonight.
All right. So that's okay. All right. I just never heard because we don't have any Puerto Ricans here in California.
What part of California you at, sir?
We're in Central California. We're in between L.A. and San Francisco. I don't think I've ever met a Puerto Rican.
It's a few Puerto Ricans out there, not too much. I had a cousin out there in Los Angeles. It's mostly Mexicans out there. I'm originally from New York City.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're Puerto Rican, no? No, I never met any. They're all Mexicans here, and
Yeah.
I guess Puerto Ricans in New York, Dominicans, and there's a lot of Dominicans too, right?
Yep, in New York. Yep.
Yeah, we're a lot of Dominicans
Who is the
there.
best Who is the best Dominican boxer you guys ever remember?
Being Puerto Ricans, we don't care about them. We like our own Puerto Rican boxer.
Okay. Okay. Who is the best? Who is the best Puerto Rican boxer?
Miguel Cotto. Felix Trinidad.
Okay.
I
Who
was
was the youngest Puerto Rican champion?
Miguel Cotto. No, not Miguel
He was the
Cotto.
youngest. No, he was 17 when he won the world title.
Wait, is
Wilfredo Benitez.
Wait, is that the guy? Was training?
Wilfredo Benitez.
He's telling you, man. He's
Oh,
telling
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Wilfredo Benitez.
Okay.
Right here.
Wilfredo Benitez.
New York
Yeah,
City,
thanks.
too.
I was
He's
gonna.
from Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, was he training under?
American-born Puerto Rican. Former professional boxer. So
No, he wasn't.
He was. I'm looking it up
No, he
on.
wasn't.
He Googled it.
I Googled it.
He like barely spoke English. He was like Puerto Rican.
Yeah, but in New York, they all speak They all speak Spanish out there.
Yeah.
They born in. I was the lucky one. I spoke English when I was a little kid, but they all speak Spanish out there. Even they living out there.
I remember he got interviewed after his fights, and I don't think he spoke English. He was born in America.
New York City, U.S. Wilfred Benitez is an American-born Puerto Rican former professional boxer and youngest world champion in the sport's history.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's weird. And his dad was his trainer for a while. But
Yeah.
anyway, what else we got? What else we gonna talk about, guys?
Wait, let me ask you something. Who's your favorite boxer of all time?
Pepino Cuevas.
Damn.
He's a Mexican. He was a Mexican welterweight back in the 70s, and he had the best left hook of all time, I think.
And do you think
Pepino Cuevas.
Do you think the left hook's the best punch? That's like the third time you've talked about it.
It's the best punch without a doubt. There's nothing even close to the second best. It's the best. It's the best strike in all of martial arts,
Let me ask you something.
without a doubt.
If you had Mike Tyson in his prime, could you make him a great MMA fighter? If you had him in his prime and you had time to train him.
Yes, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
You think you could control
Without
him?
a doubt.
He's a little
I
crazy.
did, without a doubt, yes.
Yeah. Why is the left hook
He
the
was
best?
crazy. He was crazy, but what?
Go ahead. You can finish about Mike Tyson. I got another question when you're done.
Oh, I think yeah. I think he was a very hard-working trainer. He was crazy at times, but he was a very. I think he was a disciplined, old-school guy. He was a student of the art, and I love the new Mike Tyson even better though. The new and improved Mike Tyson now is he's just so much fun to watch, and the way he's so self-deprecating. You know, he just talks about what a shithead he was, and I love watching him interviewed now.
His
But
honest.
hey, what do you want to ask?
I was gonna ask why the left hook is the best punch.
It's because the number one target in all of martial arts, the number one target without a doubt, is the chin. Okay, so and the closest to the chin is the left hand. And you can land a jab, but you don't commit. You don't engage your hip. You just push the head back. But when you land the hook, you're actually giving your hip, you're engaging your hip, and you're landing it on the best target. That's the best target in all of martial arts is the chin. So you can catch it. You can catch it the easiest with the left hook. Yeah, you can do a head kick. That's great. It's going to take longer to get there. If you look at what most knockouts happen with, it's going to be the left hook.
That's how Chuck Liddell knocked out Kevin Wenderman, right, with the left hook.
Yeah, that was not his favorite punch. It was, but I taught him the left hook and I worked with him a lot on it. But his favorite was the straight right.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was always known for straight right. I was really surprised that you were saying left hook is the best punch. I thought it was gonna be probably the straight right.
He knocked out Kevin, right?
Yeah, or maybe that the jab.
Because that's my favorite, and I teach all my fighters, but all my fighters have different skills, and I don't want them to be my favorite. Do me. I want them to be the best version of them. So Chuck always liked that the best. So I wasn't going to, I didn't want him to have to. I didn't want him to train to be like me. I wanted to be like him. So I don't train my fighters to be like me. I improve on their skills.
I like that a lot. I got one more question about fighting and training fighters. You're very well known as a stand-up striker. Do you believe in teaching combinations, or do you kind of teach more like flow punching, like almost, I don't know, like just go with the flow, you take what they give you, or do you believe in throwing solid combinations, going in with a set combination game plan, like I'm going to throw jab, cross, hook, cross, or, not that basic of a combination, but do you believe in going in with combinations into a fight, or do you just go with the flow?
Well, depends, because we always have a plan A and plan B, and we do takedowns as much as we do takedown defense, and half of my fighters like standing better, half of my fighters like going to the ground better. So we train the ground and wrestling as much as we train striking. We always have. I just personally like striking better, but I am well aware of the fact that a lot of my fighters like the ground better. So we spend a lot of time on takedowns. In fact, half of our class is half takedown and takedown defense.
Yeah, you really made it very clear that you really believe in takedown defense, especially when you're training all over. Even when you first started, you knew that that's what you guys needed to do to defend yourself.
Yeah. So I didn't work as many takedowns because I didn't really like them, and I thought they were a waste of time for me. But I've realized that a lot of my fighters come in with more of a wrestling background, or even get a wrestling background when they get there, because a lot of our training revolves around wrestling. So I let them. I drill them a lot, So I'm not going to just be a stand-up gym. That's pretty one-dimensional.
Right.
So I mix it up. Like I said, our drilling is about 50-50, so yeah. I mean, I like it better personally, but I'm not naive or ignorant to the fact that this is MMA. It's not kickboxing, and it's not a street fight. My street classes are much more stand up and defend the takedowns. Not as many takedowns. There are some, because even I might run up against someone that has better stand up than I do. So I'm gonna take that guy down. I'm not gonna fucking get the shit kicked out of me. Next thing you know, my fucking wife's fucking Troy. Troy's my neighbor, and and I know that if I get my ass whipped, next thing I'm gonna come home one day and I'll be like, and the way I call Troy, he's like 5 acres away because we live on acreage. So he's a horse vet. So if I come home one night and my wife's not home, I know if I just got my ass whooped, I know she's gonna be at Troy's house.
Oh damn,
that's a little rough to live with.
That's a nightmare. That's my fucking nightmare in life. That's what keeps me training. Every time I hit the bag, that's why I hit the bag.
God damn. How much are you still training? You're like 60 years old. Are you training hard still?
5 days a week.
God
5 days a week,
damn.
like I always do. That's what my fighters train. I have the same schedule as all my students, and including my fight team. But yeah, nothing's changed, man. I mean, I think like lifting, because my shoulders, I've been doing it so long. I don't like to fuck with my shoulders. So I don't lift as much. I don't, and other than that, nothing really changed. Like I do the same workouts my guys do, and I pretty much keep, like my top guys always beat me, but for my average, 30-year-old guys, 27-year-old guys, I can keep up with them. But like I said, my high-end guys, like shit, no. But I couldn't, conditioning wise, I don't think I could have kept up with a lot of those guys, even when I was fucking in my 20s, because I wasn't the big conditioning guy when I was in my 20s. I was the knockout guy. That's all I cared about. But I always stayed in shape,
Right.
But now, yeah, I train 5 days a week. I have a schedule. I adhere to a really strict diet. I don't, like I said, I don't drink. I don't abuse alcohol. I don't smoke. I don't do pot. Nothing against it. I just don't do it.
What do you do for recovery? Do you do like ice baths or sauna, anything like that?
No, I don't like them. I don't believe in them. I mean, I believe in, if it makes someone feel good, that's great. But I don't believe they have a really physiological effect, a positive effect. I don't think they're bad or good, but I just think they're really good for mental toughness and shock value. But to recover, I meditate twice a day, and I always do that. I meditate twice a day for 20 minutes each. When I relax, it's just I relax. So on my days off, I take my days off very seriously, and I think overtraining is a big problem with a lot of us. For some guys, for most guys, like 90% of the guys, probably like Ray, overtraining is never a problem. Undertraining, so they need to train more. But for a lot of my fighters, overtraining is a problem because they just want to train so much harder because they got a fight come up. So I got to pull them back, and I do the same with me. I pull myself back, So when I relax, and that's my recovery. Is just, and I have cheat days where I'll have like some ice cream or something.
Oh man, I'm gonna have ice cream today. Today's my cheat day. I trained 7 hours today. Well, I taught a bunch too, but I trained about 3 hours today, and I was at the gym 7 hours and had a little ice cream today.
You deserve it, Caveman.
You should. Haagen-Dazs is the best.
Oh
Haagen-Dazs is the best.
That's tough.
You should never, ever, ever. A very important lesson for all my students and my fighters: never, ever cheat on your significant other, ever. That's carved in stone. You never cheat on your significant other.
I like that, man. It's very deep.
Oh yeah.
It's nobody is allowed to cheat. They're off the team if they do.
Wow.
That's like some mafia stuff.
I got another.
You're never allowed to fight outside the gym unless they started it. Somebody else started. You never. I've kicked guys off the team for that.
That's real right there.
Seems like you have a lot of old school mentality, old school values. What do you think about
Not really. Look at okay, you want to talk about old school? My instructor spent 25 years in prison. He killed someone. He would beat the shit out of everyone, even if they looked at him wrong. He's from, I'm from Honolulu, Hawaii. So the old school back then was, no, you beat the shit out of anyone who looks at you wrong. You should fight, and you should cheat on your woman.
Damn.
So it's not really old school. I think it's just the right school. Oh my God, that's a tweet. I'm gonna tweet that.
That's a good tweet, dude. You should.
It's not old school. It's the right school.
That's really good, man. You should.
I just came up with a new meme.
Heck yeah! And not only that, it's on the. I have it recorded, so when you put the tweet on, be like, yeah, Hackleman tweeted this because of us, man.
Yeah. And make sure you guys follow me on Instagram, Pit_Master.
Pit_Master. Make sure you guys subscribe right now. Check it out.
Oh yeah.
And we got an online training program now where we promote from white to black belt. And somebody, like I did a podcast a couple weeks ago, and somebody was saying, well, it's kind of like a sellout, or how do you, it's like McDojo and this and that. I go, my online program is tougher than 90% of the real dojos out there.
Oh,
Damn.
You have to be in shape, but I don't give you the belt, but you can earn a belt and you don't have to live in Arroyo Grande. How many people live in Arroyo Grande? I'll tell you how many. 15,000. That's it. So for me to reach more people that want to learn our system, Hawaiian Kempo, which is the best martial art in the world without a doubt, the only way to do it if they live in, like, we have guys from New Zealand, Australia, England, and shit. The only way to train with me and learn our system is to learn online. And people can learn anything online now. You can get your PhD online.
so it's kind of like
you train hard, and you learn the stuff online. You're no more. You're gonna be just as in good a shape as somebody training in my dojo.
That's
You go to pit.tv for that.
Pit.tv is where it's at. So that seems
Pit.tv.
pretty similar to what the Gracie Academy was doing. Horian and
It's similar. It's similar. It's different but similar.
you should say it's the same thing, but it's better. It really works. That's what you should say, man. That's
I mean, it's for people that like my system, and there's more conditioning than there is in the Gracie one. And I've talked to the Gracie guys about theirs. I like the Gracie University. I love the Gracies, but it's a different mindset. It's a different mentality. We have a different philosophy. Ours is a little more, old school, hardcore mentality of a martial art. We're a little more directed towards the street. And I don't have the Gracie, the guys that opened that, they were bankrolled, and that's great by their uncle and stuff. So that's great. I never had that, but it still works out really good.
awesome, man. So that's can you say it one more time? Where can you find that at?
You can go to the pit.tv and just go to the store, and it's the HK, or you can go our Facebook group is a killer. It's a HK3 system, HK3, the numeral 3 system.
Awesome.
Thing. And then it's me and a guy named Master Wong, who is unbelievable. You ever hear of Master Wong?
I have not heard of Master Wong.
Master Wong has like 2.6 million followers on YouTube, and he's a self-defense guy. And we got together online, and we ended up meeting he's from UK, he's from England, and we ended up meeting in Florida just to go over some stuff and do some videos together and see how we clicked. And we clicked pretty damn good, and we started working together. And so it's HK, which is Hawaiian Kempo. It's basically the pit online. So he's kind of helping me with some of the technical stuff online and stuff, and his version of self-defense. So it's working out pretty good. It's called HK3 system, and then Bing. But if you go to thepit.tv, all my programs are there.
Awesome, man. We're gonna send our listeners there, and we're gonna tag it when we post this. That's a great system.
Tell Ray he's better get up there and get training and shit. Man, what's his girlfriend's name?
Charday.
No, don't tell him
It's Charday. His girlfriend's name is Charday.
That's not true, is it?
It is true. It's the truth. I swear to God. It's Charday. It's not a stage name. Yeah, Charday. That's her real name.
Okay. I need to have a one-on-one talk with Charday.
Oh no.
Yeah, we gotta talk, because she needs to, like my wife does to me. My wife tells me if I want to take a day off, or if I'm slacking at the gym or shit like that, she goes, "Keep it up. I got Troy on speed dial."
Oh, damn.
She's got Troy on speed dial.
Damn. Do you need me and
That's some scary shit right there.
Do you need me and Caveman to handle Troy for you?
Yeah, we'll take Troy out, and they won't know that you had anything to do with it.
If I get out of shape, and I let someone fucking embarrass me, I deserve to have my wife fuck the neighbor. I deserve it. I asked for it.
Oh man.
So no, that makes me train harder. The impetus. That's what my motivation. That's what that's what my path is, to train hard so my wife doesn't fuck the neighbor, and it's worked well for me up to now.
Hey, Caveman, after this podcast, I'm gonna be training every day now.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get a blowjob.
And then we're gonna do an update until.
Do you even have a neighbor, Ray? Do you have a neighbor?
Yes.
He lives in a city. He's got neighbors like on
All
top
around.
of him. Yeah.
All
Oh my
around
God.
the house.
What's your neighbor's name?
We got some guys across the street. I don't know their names though.
Okay. Well, let's just hope Charday doesn't have them on speed dial.
Charday probably knows their names.
Oh damn. That's messed up.
Oh, my
I'm gonna be
God.
listen after this podcast. I'm gonna be training.
Last time we trained,
I'm telling you.
we posted a video online with me and Ray's like 100 pounds bigger than me, and I submitted him. So
Send me the picture.
I'm gonna send John. I'm gonna
send it to him.
Yeah, send me the picture. Send me a picture of Charday.
Oh,
Yeah, send me her. No, because I want to let her know that Ray is going to be training her. She's going to be visiting the neighbor. My wife threatens me with that shit. You should be threatened with that, Ray. You be fucking trained. You'll be trained like a motherfucker. You'll be like burpees and shit and fucking hitting the bag and oh man, you'll be in such good shape. You're gonna thank me someday.
Ray's gonna
Just
kick
not
my
today.
ass.
I'm gonna thank you. I'm gonna be like 3 months later. We're gonna do an update. We're gonna have you on again. And be like, oh, Ray got a 6-pack now.
Yeah. Do a before picture tonight, and then give me a picture in 3 months.
All right, I'm gonna take the before picture when we leave here, and I'm gonna post it in this podcast. So you gotta take your shirt off for this picture, and then we'll post it here. We'll do one, and if we do the next podcast,
3 months.
I'm gonna
3
take
months.
yeah,
That's
take
all
another
you need.
take another picture of Ray, and if he's fatter, we're sending this to Charday and getting her the neighbor's number.
Okay, this is the deal. Okay, we're making this deal right now. This will make him train harder. All right. We say, give me a picture right now of Ray, and then he's going to start training. And then if he's not in top shape within 3 months, give me a picture of Charday. I'm going to put her on my Instagram.
Perfect. I love this. I'm gonna do this as soon as we get off here. Thanks, John. I've been trying to motivate this guy for months. I appreciate this. Thank you also for coming on, man. This is a great place to step out. Make sure you go to the pit.tv, order up the system that's going to make Ray not fat anymore. And
Hey!
this picture coming up right now, that's Ray today.
Ray, you got to start training. Bro. We got nothing but love for you, man. That's why we want you to be the best Ray.
Yep.
Mr. Hackleman, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate having you on in the corner.
See you later, brother.
See you guys.
All
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Hope you enjoyed your coffee. Did you call him back?
Well, there you go.
All right. No. Dude, we're putting a picture of you in the podcast. You got to take your shirt off as soon as we're done here.
Okay.
All right. Let's get the music on so we can get out of here. That was a good one, man.
Yeah, it
He's
was,
an awesome
man.
guy. He's really fun. He's way cooler than I thought. I thought he was going to hate us.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's our kind of guy. Great guest. Oh, yeah.
All right. Coming from the Buffalo, New York, this is Caveman Corner. We are out of here. Free music on
All right.
Amazon.
This is terrible. This is the worst out music. That's what it says right on his phone.
TV production.
Yeah.
Podcast movie.
Oh, man.
All right, we out of here.
All right, we're out. I can't believe we made fun of our beaches.
I know,
Like,
right?
those aren't even real beaches.
Oh, that was a good one.
That was really good. Charday's going to be banging your neighbor in 3 months.
Oh, no.